My name is Toby McCall. I am a second-year master's student in the English department, and particularly in a program called Rhetoric and Composition. Has anybody ever heard of the word rhetoric before? Yeah? You've heard it before? Do you know what it is? Can you tell me what? Yeah, it's kind of hard to... Yeah, it's difficult to lay down. In fact, that's part of what we do as we study what does that word even mean. Let me try to give you some idea. Classically, the idea of rhetoric has been how do we use language to persuade people to feel or think or act in a particular way. Okay, that's one view of rhetoric. In a more modern sense, rhetoric can also be considered the way in which we use language to construct reality. So it's even broader then, right? And it touches on so many different types of study: philosophy, theology, even film studies, okay? So a lot of the stuff you guys have been talking about in this class have very rhetorical aspects to them. So you're touching on the same elements that we study. I particularly study in rhetoric computer games. Okay, so I look at computer games as a form of media very much like film and ask myself, what is it that these games are saying or doing? How are they making people feel, think, or act? Okay, and Greg asked me to come in and talk to you guys about a particular game called America's Army. Has anybody ever heard of that game before? One person here, two, three, four, okay. America's Army is a game that is built and produced and distributed by the United States Army. Okay, it is a free game. You can download it for free. You can play it for free. They will update it for free. It's a new way that the Army has devised to recruit people into their ranks. Okay, I'm going to be showing you some clips from the movie. I'm going to ask you to think about these clips in particular ways. I'm going to talk to you about some quotes from how newspapers have responded to this. I want to have a very open discussion about this, so feel free to comment or raise your hand. Before we get started on that, I want to talk about games in general, though, so we can get kind of some base definitions. How many people play games at all? Everybody should raise their hand, okay? Because everybody plays games. From the moment that you were born, little tiny games with Barbie dolls and G.I. Joes, all the way to today. How many people have cell phones on them right now? Everybody raise your hand. There are games on your cell phones. I don't know if you've played them. I don't know if you, but they're there. Games are everywhere. Okay. How many people play board games? Yeah. Okay. How about card games? I know you play card games. Right. Okay. Now, what type of board games do you play? Those that you raise your hand. Give me some examples. Scrabble, Balderdash, Risk, Monopoly, Cranium. Okay. Backgammon, Stratego. What else? Anybody over here? Nobody over here plays board games, just these people, right? Apples to Apples, okay. Candyland. Don't forget the Candyland, dude. Yeah, it's still fun today. It's just good, wholesome fun, okay. How about, and no one said in this particular class chess, and we had it in the other class. I thought it was such a great example. And you can look at any of these games with the same kind of example, but when you look at chess, there's a particular kind of perspective or certain kind of stereotypes around people who play chess, right? What kind of things would you say if you would say that person plays chess? He must be smart, right? And she must be a nerd, okay? Good. What else? What else must you be? Strategic. You must have strategery in your head, right? Okay? The thing about this kind of aspect of chess is that we automatically assume that if you play this game, you must be smart and that you must be kind of a nerd, because nerds are smart, right? And that you must be really good at strategy. Now, what we might be able to say is that that game helps us be that way, right? That game teaches those kinds of skills, right? And we're really easy to jump on to that kind of idea that these traditional types of games, like chess, like backgammon, like Candyland, teach us things, right? Now, the very current argument is that computer games are also games, right? But what is it that they teach? Hand-eye coordination, right? Killing sometimes, okay? But that's the thing that I want you to ask yourselves when we look at this America's Army. What is it teaching, okay? What is the rhetoric of these games? What are they asking you to feel, think, or say, right? Or do, okay? So, do you have any questions so far about this? before I show you some clips. Let me show you some clips. Let's get some framework around this, and then we'll start talking again, okay? I'm going to bring the room down a little bit. There we go. Okay. First thing I want to show you here is this is the website for the game. Now, while you guys were talking, I made some notes, and I'm going to try to use these notes to kind of guide our discussion. One of the things that you guys mentioned was the portraying of the hero, right? And hero as a real person. This is the America's Army's website where you can download the game. What do you see right here in this image? What can you explain to me is going on here? Anybody? This side of the room is real quiet. Yep.
It just says learn what to take to make a real hero. You can't believe that's holding on his gun in his hand.
Oh yeah, big gun, real hero, big words here, right? So this is really what's popping out. What do you see right here? What is this? It's the actual person that plays the game. So who is this? That's his ego. And in game language, what we really call this is an avatar. You guys ever heard of that word before? An avatar? Okay, so it's your online identity. It's your in-game identity. This gentleman right here, Major Jason, a Marine, I think that's how you say his name, has created an online identity, an avatar, which he plays in the game that matches him, his visual appearance. Anybody that plays the game can create their own avatar. You can make your own look and feel. What is interesting about this visual image here is that it is in the background saying, here are these different representations. Here's a real person. Here's the virtual person. And this is how once you learn how to be a real hero by looking at him. Not just him and what he did in real life, but look at what he does in the game too. See, America's Army is a very interesting, different type of a first-person shooter in that the game tries specifically to bring together enlisted soldiers who are active in the military right now with people playing the game. Okay? They're going to try to make a social connection. So the people that are playing the game are actually talking and playing with enlisted soldiers. Who do you think is playing this game? Who's playing it right now? Teenagers? Is that what you're going to say, teenagers? What age?
Our age.
Your age? What's your age? Okay.
It's even younger, like 10-year-olds.
Okay, even 10-year-olds maybe? You guys agree over here? Maybe? Yeah. And specifically, this game was designed to target 14-year-olds. In 1999, the Army had its lowest recruitment rate ever. Ever. They decided, we've got to do something. Right? So they hired a guy from West Point, a guy who studied economics, and he said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to tap into pop culture. We're going to look at what these people are doing, and we're going to make something that will help us in our recruitment. And specifically, we're going to do it at an early stage. Because when you hit somebody at 18 to be in the Army, right? I mean, you guys you're all 18 right now? Or soon to be. You're going to get inundated with, well, I don't know if you will anymore, but I used to get inundated with mail, pamphlets, join the Army, join the Army. That was their preferred medium, was literature, text. Yeah. Get them when they're 14. Give them a few years to think about it. Let them think that might be a choice for them. And then when they're 18, they might actually jump in. Instead of being third or fourth in the line, you might actually be your first choice. You've seen the commercials on TV, I know you have, right? The commercials on TV are all about, look how cool it is. Why don't you fly this helicopter? Check this out. You're a nerd, right? You're into computers. Army's got computers, right? So there's all kinds of different rhetoric going on in there. Let's take a look at the game play, the actual game itself, and let's see what we can learn from it. Let me